The day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 376. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Bertino, and this is my co-host, Dan, off the top rope, Robinson.
What's going on, man? I got a big rant. I got a big rant.
That's two wrestling references. I'm gonna let you go because you got a little heated. I kind of know about this, so I kind of know about this stuff.
I'm just saying, I never get to talk about wrestling. I wish Patrick was on the show because I would love to hear his
Oh my God,
opinion on
I'm
this.
sure he's got thoughts.
I would love to hear his opinion on this, and I'm only going to use, because I've listened to a lot of wrestling podcasts and a lot of reports out there.
You're going to use the information that you know.
I'm only going to, I can only use the information that I know, but I'm going to take the information that's the same. Because a lot of people are conflicting reports,
right.
So I'm going to take the info that's the same out of all of those things, okay? And I'm not saying Phil Brooks, I think that's his real name, CM Punk. I'm not saying he's a great guy by any means, right? Because I don't know him personally. I don't know his personality. He's a great wrestler. He is. Okay. But I think I'm taking a break from AEW because I'm kind of pissed off that Tony Khan let this happen. He fired CM Punk after 5-6 years of like Punk being 7 years, Punk being gone, and him finally coming back.
Yep.
And we got the sort of CM Punk. I mean, the man's in his late 40s, so it's sort of like
he's getting up
the
there.
last hurrah. It's like his last hurrah, right? Like he's in mid to late 40s. He's like in his last hurrah. I couldn't wait to see it. I would pay to go see CM Punk wrestle, okay? And they fired him. I don't want to say. I'm trying to keep it PG, okay? I don't want to say what I really want to say. But take it from this way, right? He gets into a fight with the executives of AEW, who are also wrestlers, who are the new clique in wrestling, right? If you're a big wrestling, if you know wrestling, you know the clique, Shawn Michaels, the original clique, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Razor Ramon, you know, the Outsiders, and Sean Waltman was 1-2-3 Kid, X-Pac, and Triple H. Triple H. And Just Incredible was in there early on, too. Just Incredible, ECW fame. He was Mondo Montoya. He had a weird gimmick when he was in WWF, New Generation, before the ECW.
Yeah.
Before the ECW, yeah. Just want to say, he got into a fight with them. I know he ranted on a backstage interview, which maybe he should have, calmed down, but it all stemmed from a promo that was not approved from Hangman Page, which was one of the boys, one of the clique, and they got into a brawl, and everybody was like suspended for a year, but it was all blamed on CM Punk. Well, not a year, maybe like 6 months, and everything was blamed on CM Punk. They did sort of like a soft brand split with Collision on Saturdays. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, which is 90210's 90210,
Luke Perry's
Dylan.
brother?
Luke Perry's. No, it's his son. His son is a wrestler. Yes.
Oh, shoot. Rest in peace, Luke Perry.
Rest in peace, Luke Perry. His son. Well, I'm about to go off on Jungle. His name is Jungle Boy, Luke Perry.
Oh, boy.
I'm about to go off on him. He wanted to use real glass by reports, or the angle, to go so he can go on vacation before the big match in, London.
Okay.
I understand that, but everyone told him now you can't use the real glass, because you could get really hurt. Back in the during the Attitude Era, when people were going through glass, that, I hate the, kayfabe, I hate to spoil it, but it wasn't real glass. It was tempered glass.
Oh,
so it can break.
Well, I mean, it still hurts, but it's not like real glass.
Not real glass, yes. So he wanted to use real glass. he did a promo in the pre-show, sort of during the match, said something directed at CM Punk. By all reports, Punk was frustrated because when he got to London, there was no limo, there was no car service to pick him up, which he's your biggest star in the company. There'd be should be a car there waiting for him to take him to the stadium or his hotel. He had to catch the subway. Think about that. You got to go to Madison Square Garden, you come to JFK, and you have to catch the A train. And you have no idea. You've never been here before, so you don't know how to travel on the subway, and people just see you on the train. That was CM Punk in London. That's insane.
Yeah, man.
That's insane.
You can't do that. He's an employee. I mean, you can call him talent or whatever, isn't it? He works for the company. Treat your employees with respect. All right? Give them...
major stars.
Yeah.
The major stars get their own car service. Everybody else gets a bus, right? Like, everybody should have like a bus service or something. Why he didn't get a cab, I don't know. But I can understand his frustration. He gets there, he gets ready for his match, and then he has Luke Perry's son. And I'm holding back what I really want to say, sort of in the middle of his own match on a pre-show, by the way, says something everybody knows is directed at CM Punk. They get into a scuffle, and it's on camera, and Tony Khan says he fears for his life, and he fired CM Punk. Well, he fears for his, he felt he felt endangered by the situation, because there are conflicting reports about CM Punk sort of lunging at him, telling him he would quit, AEW, because he's been looking to leave. Because it's different. It's a different atmosphere, more of an indie atmosphere than like a big time, like WWE. It's not WWE by any means.
Right.
My biggest, again, my complaint is he's your biggest star. Okay? There's going to be there's always going to be a little bit of drama, a little bit of diva-ness.
Always.
You got to stroke the ego.
Big personalities.
You need to be Phil Jackson in this situation.
Oh, let's go.
Okay? You got to be Phil Jackson. Okay? Because if that's the case, Hulk Hogan should have been fired. Stone Cold should have been fired. Shawn Michaels.
Don't get me started on Hulk Hogan.
Okay. Well, we talk about Hulk Hogan. We talk about Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Okay? 80s Hulk Hogan.
He's got some stuff. He got some stuff he did in the 80s. I'm not so fond of now.
Hey, well, we're not talking about. Listen, we're talking about all wrestling related stuff, like behind the scenes of wrestling.
Yeah.
Even in wrestling, nothing personal.
Yeah.
But you would have fired Hogan. Stone Cold walked out for he was gone for 6 months. Okay, you would have fired Stone Cold for that, right? Shawn Michaels. Listen, a fraction. I don't want to say half. I don't want to say a quarter. A fraction of what he did back then. Tony Khan would have fired him right now if that was the case.
Right.
The NWO, all those guys, the outsiders, all that stuff, all those antics that they did behind the scenes of WCW. If that's the case, you would have fired them. Okay.
Right.
All of them would get fired. They all come with a certain level of divaness that you need to be aware of and involved in, hands-on, because they are the money makers.
100%.
And then you need to deal with it. You need to learn how to juggle egos.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just sit back as business as usual and treat everybody. There's a reason why big stars don't want to go to the Patriots. Okay? Because there's a reason why Tom Brady left the Patriots. Right? I'm a big star. I don't want to be treated like everybody else. I want to have my diva moments, but I get treated differently.
Right.
I don't agree with the firing, but I know he wanted out. They fired him with cause.
Yeah.
That means he's not going to get paid. Right? Don't know if there's a lawsuit there to recoup some of that money back. I don't know how much. I'm sure it was in the seven figures, not 6 figures, high seven figures, right?
Could be. I'm not sure what top tier talent gets paid, but yeah.
Will he go to WWE? I hope so. Eventually,
he was already in WWE. He got kicked out of that too.
Well, he got kicked out. It was different circumstances. Circumstances.
Right.
That was totally different.
Right.
My point is, I mean, now would he go to WWE? There would be a big coup for them, right, to have him back. I don't think he'll go back anytime soon. Maybe WrestleMania time.
I think there's still some bad blood. I don't know if he would want to go back. I could be wrong. I don't know. I remember
there were
hearing about the situation a while ago.
There were reports when we had that first blow up with the executive VPs back last year, that he wanted to get out of his contract because he saw it wasn't this ain't WWE. Like, you know, the grass wasn't greener on this side, so he wanted to come back, but he couldn't get out of his contract, and you know, it was a whole big thing. I don't want to get into that. I want to end my rant with I'm taking a break from AEW.
Oh, you are.
Probably not going to watch any of the new stuff, any of the shows. Not going to watch the pay-per-view, even though I will say All In, not All Out. All In was awesome.
Sure.
In Wembley Stadium in London. Sure. It was awesome. I was so mad I uninstalled AEW from my hard drive, the game, from my Xbox hard drive.
You know what? I commend you on taking it all the way, because I don't know if I would have necessarily done that. I could have probably separated the two in my head, but you're like, you know what? No, I'm putting. I mean, you bought the game already for sure, but you don't want to give them any more shine, right? You don't want to spread the love on the podcast because you got some hate in your heart right now for AEW. So I understand.
Now, I don't listen. I know a lot of people who weren't involved, that had nothing to do with this. Some, hate it that he's gone. Some love it that he's gone. Not going to mention names. Not going to get into the weeds because we're not a wrestling podcast. Just going to say, for me, I'm going to take a break from AEW programming for now.
Okay.
Just going to take a break.
All right.
Don't know how long. Now AEW went from second on my watch list of wrestling to below NXT, and NXT was very low.
Wow. Yeah, NXT is like the AAA. That's like the what do they call it? It's the like the baby league or whatever. Right?
It's the minor. It's the minor leagues. Yeah. The minor leagues. It's a bunch of people learning to wrestle, and some people who are there who know how to wrestle to help the people who don't know how to or inexperienced. But anyway.
I just want to say real quick, because you're gonna need something to watch, and you did mention Phil Jackson, and you did mention Divas. I don't know if you've
Phil Jackson on WWE Divas.
No, nothing of the sort. But I don't know if you've been watching that show Winning Time on HBO.
No, I didn't even know that existed.
It's the history of the Lakers dynasty, and you want to talk about Divas and your man Magic Johnson and your man Kareem. And just everything that went on with getting the new owner in there, Dr. Buss, and just kind of dealing with all these larger than life personalities, and the new owner saying we need to win a championship. My first year as owner, having to get a brand new coach in there, and just wild. It's a good show.
I heard. I mean, you like it from a fan standpoint, but from an accuracy standpoint, I heard that show is not really as accurate. Like Magic Johnson, a lot of people said that that show was mostly a lot of liberty was taken.
Well,
doing that show. It wasn't.
They say specifically up front, they have a disclaimer that it's based on true events that happened during the time, but some of the characters are amalgamations, right? They may combine characters, a couple people, maybe one guy, and they obviously got to hype it up for the drama and whatnot. But I mean, you're getting all the major points. I knew some of that stuff, but not everything. I knew that. I knew when Pat Riley took over and whatnot, and that whole thing.
Oh, he wasn't. They didn't. They was they were skeptical about Pat Riley originally.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, no. They make some scenes about that in the movie for sure, or television show, I should say. But they're in the middle of season 2 now, which is cool. They just came off their championship, and they're I don't know if it's gonna go year by year, or if they're gonna jump ahead a lot. I mean, they do some time skips to go back and forth between different things, and they talk about Larry Bird a lot too, because he was in the same rookie year as Magic Johnson, and Lakers and Celtics had that kind of rivalry. Hell, they still have the rivalry to this day, so you get to see it from both sides. It's good. It's a good show.
Was he in that same draft? I thought Larry Bird was the following draft.
Same year, I think. Yeah. I thought Larry Bird. I think was both their first year, because because they were both up as picks. Unless I'm forgetting, and Larry Bird waited another year to finish out his school year, and then went to the Celtics.
Okay.
That could have been it. I could have gotten it wrong a little bit, but I mean, there's just like a ton of stuff going on in there, so it's hard to keep track of it. But
yeah, I could have sworn
he may have been 80-81 for his first year. Yeah. I thought he was 79-80. I thought he was the same year as Johnson, because no. I'm pretty sure they were, because they were both fighting for Rookie of the Year, and that was a big plot point, right? Who's going to be the Rookie of the Year? You got this white dude from Indiana, and then you got this black dude with the afro from the hood. So they get a little bit into the racial politics and whatnot, and nobody was betting on Magic. Everyone was betting on Bird, and then Magic had one of the greatest games of his life during like those finals, I think, and you had like the commissioner there and whatnot, and they kind of like turned it around.
I knew I was right. Larry Bird was drafted in 78. Magic Johnson was drafted in 79.
Oh, okay. So Bird was in there a year before. Okay.
Bird was there. Bird was there
for rookie. That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been 1970.
Larry Bird. I could have sworn Larry Bird won Rookie of the Year, but he wanted. Well, you know what? Maybe he didn't play. I don't think maybe he played that first year.
Maybe not.
That could be it.
I don't know. But anyway.
I knew they weren't. I knew they weren't drafted in the same year.
Right.
But it escapes me. Maybe he didn't play that year, so that's why he qualified for Rookie of the Year the following year when Magic got.
Could be. Yeah. Because that was like a major plot point. They were both fighting for the cover of Sports Illustrated and whatever else. But anyway, highly recommend that show. I think you'd enjoy it, because it's like 50-50. You get 50% like just hardcore basketball, like on court doing the moves and them talking about strategy and that, and then the other 50% is all the drama behind the scenes, and it all just comes together beautifully.
All right,
it's so good.
Well, we gotta get this show on the road. Mm-hmm. This is a modified show than our normal show. Mm-hmm. Only it was either that or we didn't record this week, and we didn't want to miss a week.
We got to record. Yeah.
We got to record, and it's pretty late right now. But we want to, we wanted to put something out there.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about Starfield. Starfield is loading. It's installing right now in my Xbox. I'm at like 70%, so I will play it. I will get a chance to play it after we record for the next week's episode. So I'll talk all about Starfield and all my thoughts on Starfield. I do have a physical coming, which I don't need to open, but I'm kind of curious to see if there's an actual disc in it, because I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed if it's just a box.
It's one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game of the year that's to come out. Whether it is the best game of the year is a different conversation, but I'm going to assume there's a regular disc in there.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. See about that. So with that said, Dave, let's get into the top game of news of last week, and let's start with, we got a Mario Direct, which gave us more information about Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And I got to say,
Super Mario Wonder. I think is it Super Mario Brothers Wonder?
Well, I took all the information about, I did watch it live, but all the information about this I did take from IGN. So the name of their article is Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So,
yeah, and I mean I get why, but it's just a mouthful. It should just be Super Mario Wonder. It is legit Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Ugh.
You know what, Dave? We could just wonder about it being Super Mario Wonder and why they didn't name it that.
I don't know. They didn't call it the White Switch, so who knows? They're not taken by good advice.
You're still mad about that.
I mean, look, it's not my product, but yeah, I'm a little mad about it.
Okay. But we got more info about the game. Right now, it's actually playable at PAX because they had Nintendo Live.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So it's at PAX, people playing it, get a chance to play a slice of the game. Regular people getting a chance to play the game, not just media. And I got to be honest, I am more excited about it now than I was prior to this Direct. Now,
Okay.
Some backstory. So we got a new area. So I wish we were, I wish we were still in the Mushroom Kingdom. I wish we were in Dinosaur Land. But no, we're going to be in the Flower Kingdom.
You can't rehash the same stuff over and over again. That's the beauty of Wonder. It's all new, baby.
It's all new. All right, we're going to be in the Flower Kingdom. We're going to be in the Flower Kingdom. Well, it's all new, but we got the same Bowser who comes in and he is merged with he's merged with the flower and the castle. And
yeah, that's
they could have
he's like turned into a Pokemon.
They could have had a new bad guy come in. I mean, they could have, I thought this may have been a missed opportunity. I will say this. Mm-hmm. This is my only negative about just like the whole story arc. It's always Bowser, except for Super Mario Brothers 2, but that was a dream. Spoilers for a game that's over 30 years old.
Super Mario Land and Land 2. Land 2 was Wario. Land 3 didn't even have Mario. Land 3 starred Wario, so
Game Boy games, but the mainline games.
I would consider those in the. But I get what you're saying.
The mainline console games. I think this was like a missed opportunity to do something new and introduce a new interesting character. I mean, you're going to a new
freshen it up a little, yeah.
You're going to a new kingdom, the Flower Kingdom. So you're leaving the Mushroom Kingdom. So everybody's head is a flower. There's flower heads here, right?
Yeah,
which is buds, a little weird. Bud heads.
Yeah.
So, you brought the bad guy to them. They were living in prosperity.
Yeah, thinking about it, it is a little bit strange. You get popped into this new kingdom, but the same bad guy from the Mushroom Kingdom somehow magically floats over too. It's like, how are they going to explain that?
Get a new bad guy. Maybe a new bad guy who knows Bowser or like defeats Bowser or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You could do something with that, right?
Anything. It's a totally different kingdom. Who rules Flower Kingdom, right?
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. So you have 8 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and 2 Toads. They all play the same. So not like games past where Luigi can jump higher, right? But sort of has that weird jump.
SMB2, right? You mean?
Well, no, there are other games too that I think the DS games, they think they had like a distinct difference.
Some of them have different. Yeah.
But they all play the same. Mm. But you do play as Yoshi and Nabbit, but they can't take damage.
They are easy mode for the young kids.
They're sort of easy mode for the young kids. I'm a little
What?
But I'm disappointed.
Oh, come on. Why?
No. Hear me out.
Love easy
I'm disappointed.
Mode.
No, I do. Play it as Nabbit as the easy mode. Like I kind of want Yoshi. I kind of want Yoshi to jump on Yoshi's back and use him as a power up. Kind of. I still want that old school Yoshi.
Well, you gotta have at least 2, right? Because there's not parents don't always just have the one kid. You got to be able player 1, player 2. You got to have 2 kiddie modes. Or have 2 people play as Nabbit.
Why do you have 2 Toads? Have Toad and have a flower person. Have a flower person.
I mean, it should technically be like 4 and 4. Should be 4 regular characters and maybe 4 easy characters, but
there we go. That works.
At least they have easy mode.
We are nitpicking. Yeah, yes, they do have easy mode. We are nitpicking. I am nitpicking. The only power-ups that we can see, at least from the direct, are real quick. You could, obviously you could play, all the characters on screen at one time because you have, local player, which is great. And we'll talk about online a little bit later. But so that's cool. The power-ups, everything I can see, you have a bubble power-up where you can, shoot bubbles, right, to capture enemies, and you could use it as like a staircase. If you throw a couple of bubbles, you can jump off of them. Don't know how useful that is in just practice using, playing a game. Right. I would gotta see how that fits because it's a bubble. It's not, shooting it like a fireball by any means.
From everything I've seen, I feel like the levels are oriented around those power-ups and whatever weird things you can do. So they're gonna make you use it in a way that's into. I mean, it's Nintendo. They always have the best, especially with the Mario games. They have the best level design. And they always iterate over the theme, and they like, here's the beginning, here's a bubble, put a bubble here, and you jump up here. And then it's 2 bubbles, and then 2 bubbles over spikes or whatever. That's their thing.
the different and maybe the bubbles don't really stay, leveled, and the difficulty would be you got to shoot 3 bubbles
right
in a certain sequence so you can jump to get to this, part. So
yeah.
You still got the flower power,
Yep.
The flower power up where you get those fireballs.
That's the one classic nod, yeah.
That's the one classic. You have the drill where you can sort of, go underground like a mole and drill, right? And you can I don't want to say kill because it's a Mario game, but you can sort of like destroy harder enemies, like those rock enemies. You can sort of destroy them, right? With the drill hat. And you got the elephant power up, which everybody knows about. We saw that when they first announced it, right? Yep. So, they said Miyamoto at first didn't like the elephant power up, but he made them sort of add features to it to make it relevant, not just like you're big, strong, and you can go through blocks. So now you can use it to, you squirt water at people, at enemies and stuff like that. You use your trunk to swipe enemies. Nice. So that's cool. I just, and just like Super Mario World, you can sort of have a backup power up waiting.
Yeah,
for you.
they're taking it back. You can put one in storage. You can swap them out anytime. It's great. It's good stuff.
But now Mario's getting sort of RPG-ish, where they have these badges that serve as, upgrade system, right? Where you can, and just to name a few, you can wall jump. You get a wall jump badge. You can coin magnet badge, so coins will just be attracted to you. Grappling vine badge, where you can use a grappling vine to reach higher places. You can only use one badge per level.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to get too powered up, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. You can sort of, I guess, purchase them with in-game, credit, because there are microtransactions in Mario, by the way, but don't know if it's real money or sort of like in-world currency.
Oh, it could be
power.
I don't think they said necessarily if it would be in-game currency or like pay. You could pay for the currency as well, or that's the only.
Well, they didn't. I don't know if it's. No, they didn't say if you can pay real money for it, but they did say like you have to collect these items to unlock these badges or do challenges to unlock these badges.
I feel like that's going to be it. There's not going to be any real-world dollar amount to getting these, because it would immediately cut into the going back to the levels and playing them over again and doing all that stuff. Like Nintendo, not that Nintendo wouldn't do that, because they obviously everybody likes money, but I feel like they're going to preserve the game and let you grind it out if you want to get all the coins for the badges. But I don't know. I don't know.
And then the Wonder Flower, which is the big like sort of theme of the game, is you touch this Wonder Flower and it turns the level like all trippy and weird. Yeah. No one talks about this, but it looks like that doesn't last for long. It looks like there's a time limit for whatever level, because and it seems like there are a lot of different challenges in that when you go to that sort of wonder level, right? Now, I would love to know, and I haven't really seen anybody play this online because we just started really recording when I saw that it was playable at Nintendo Live today, but after that time limit is up, does it go back to the level how it was, right? Like wherever it was, or if you beat it, do you beat that? Like what happens? Like if you beat that wonder level, whatever, like you're in the middle level, you touch the wonder flower, you have a time limit
mode when you beat it.
In the wonder mode, do you beat that level, or do you go back to where you were in that level at the time, right? So if you had like
beat it again.
200 seconds, then you can fix. Yeah. Now, how does that work? I would love to know.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, it'd be interesting either way to see how that mechanic plays out.
So you do have now. This is a big controversy. We didn't really talk about this about it not listing online play, right? When they first announced it, but they did address that in the direct. You do have online play, sort of, because people will appear as ghosts, or as they call it, live player shadows. Yeah. Where you see just shadows running around. Which you can, I guess me and you theoretically could play the game together. You would really only be there to revive me if I die.
I would be there in spirit.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost or
like,
shadow.
I mean, it's cool that they tried, but they really didn't try. They really didn't try. They came up to the plate and they like half swung and maybe they got a bunt. I mean, it's just no. If you're gonna do online play, just do 4-player online play. Do it like you do with Mario Kart. Now, Mario Kart doesn't have the best netcode and you get dropped out of the games all the damn time. Sure, but put a little effort into it, Nintendo. Make it 4-player online. Everyone goes into the room. You use the friend codes or whatever. You invite friends to play. It wouldn't be that hard to do, you know? It's a 2D Mario game. It's not ultra complex. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll add like real online play like further down the line and like a free update patch or something. I hope they do. But
no. What they're gonna do is release a device that connects to your phone, and headphones, so you can talk to people.
Another one that's like an elephant trunk shape.
There you go.
Mario.
There you go. It writes itself. It writes itself, Dave. It writes itself.
You know.
And lastly, they did announce a Mario Special Edition. I think they were a little bit lazy on this one because it's just an all red OLED console. All red. The dock is red. The Joy-Cons are red. I know they got a little Mario emblem on the bottom, and then in the back, when you open it up, you got
secret in the
coins.
back with the coins, but it's in the drop-down thing on the back, which you're never going to see except when you put in the HDMI cable.
There you go.
Yeah, they really should have had a graphic, even if it's just like minimalistic, something other than just like we put red paint on this thing. They went to the plate and they hit a bunt again.
You know, because you know why? Because at some point, when they have extra stock of stuff, when they're trying to get rid of it, when the Switch 2 or the Super Switch comes out, all right, they're gonna say, hey, we have another Mario bundle, all red with digital games. Here you go. Right? Yeah. So they don't want to put Wonder on it because then it would be stuck as a Wonder, Super Mario Wonder Special Edition. But they want to be able to reuse it just in case they don't sell enough that they could just bundle stuff in it and change the box. That's it. Because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing with Mario with the regular Switches, right? Because they have. I don't know if you've seen it. They got Mario Kart 8 digital as a special edition, with the bundle with the regular Switches, and it's like, are you trying to get rid of stock of the regular Switches?
Maybe
Mario Kart 8, a game that's been out since the launch of the Switch, it's still
technically it's been out since the Wii U in 2013.
Well, there you go. It's still a special edition. It's still going to be a special. Come on, really? All right, but I am looking forward to this game. I am more hyped about it now than I was before.
Yeah, man. And they're shaking up. They're shaking up the formula, just like Breath of the Wild. They took a look. They were like, all right, how do we reinvigorate the franchise? I think mostly they've made the right moves with this. Got a whole new scene, mostly new power-ups. The badge thing is nice and new. All the worlds look wildly different. All the cool things you can do in every like level that are almost unique to that level in some ways. Super cool. Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Sony. And even I, the biggest Sony optimist.
Fanboy,
right?
You can say it. It's not a bad word. It's okay.
Optimist. Apologist.
Apologist.
I can't even give any credence to this next story, but I will tell you where it does benefit them.
In their pockets, right?
PS Plus, PlayStation Plus prices have increased, and I'm talking about big increases. Starting September 6th, PS Plus will be getting a huge price hike. The cost of a 12-month subscription for PS Plus Essentials is going up from $59.99 to $79.99, while PS Plus Extra will now be costing $134.99. And PlayStation Premium, the most expensive tier, will go up to $159.99. That's the one I have. Mm-hmm. So it's going up $20. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of crazy.
Not to mention the Plus Premium or whatever, all those classic Sony games, I love the idea, but they're really not. I looked at the list again to like see what was there. It's not a big list. No, and a lot of the ones they do tout are like PS4 remasters of games, right? You're like, Shadow of the Colossus PS2 game. I'm like, well, yeah, but you already, like, put it out on PS4. Like, where's all the emulation for, like, give me some Tekkens and some Final Fantasy X and,
Tekken's on there. Tekken's on there, or it was on there. Because there's, like, again, just like Games Pass, games go on and the games come off. So I know I did play Tekken on PlayStation Plus, so maybe
sure, but
get off.
They need to have
more.
There's not a lot on there. They're not really doing the emulation proper like they said, or what everyone thought they were going to be doing was like making an emulator, PS2 emulator essentially, and making games work, go one by one, make sure SSX work is okay. Does Tekken work? All right, great. And you add them to the system. I get not every game is a Sony first-party studio game, and they are going to like drop in and drop out, but the amount of games that they have is just not a lot. So you couple that with like the price bump for all the tiers. That's a hard pill to swallow.
It is. And I'm sure they anticipated people canceling their subscriptions.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be some.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Probably 1,000 people. Probably. But I will say the one positive thing, as a business, their stock prices went up significantly. Like Wall Street loves the move. Wall Street loves the move because it's more money, more revenue, and I'm sure
but
all the experts said that the number of people that dropped off, the people who will stay on, like me, we're making up for the people that dropped off with the $20 hike and all the tiers.
Is that factoring
from all the experts from here?
Is that factoring in the people that aren't doing the month to month? Because most people are going to do the year to get the discount, right? They're not just going to like
correct,
because you can do like right. So are they doing the analysis on people?
Well, it's not a huge discount, by the way. It's not like I'm saving hand over fist here for this.
It makes the difference, because if you have a 12-month subscription that's got 6 months left, you're not going to cancel it. You're going to ride it out to the end. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I think time will tell. I don't think it's going to be as good as the analysts are saying right now. I have to assume that they're like, they did the work and figured out like, okay, well, like these are people that were just month to month, and then they dropped off, and like, well, okay, those people aren't going to stick around. But
as a fan, it sucks. But as an adult who does invest in the stock market, I wish I would have known this ahead of time. I would have invested more in Sony because the stock price went up. So it made a good investment.
Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about this, because I know on the last episode we talked about the PlayStation Portal, and you were an apologist for it, and I could care less for it.
I find, because I have a practical use for it, for when I go, every week I go somewhere, so I have a practical use for it, so I can see me using it, and I like the way it looks.
And you made a good...
I love anything for the screen.
I definitely don't like the way it looks, but that's just me. That's just me, in my opinion there. The other thing that I didn't realize that I heard the Iron Lords talk about, and Spawnwave and a couple other channels, because they were breaking it down and doing their analysis. Are you hyped for it? Are you not hyped for it? I didn't realize that, and this is a problem for us, because I can see your whole collection back there, and mine's in the other room back there, but we have thousands of video games physical, and the problem with the PlayStation Portal is that it only works with downloaded games that are installed to the hard drive, which means physical games don't count in that way, because you need the disc to validate the game, right? You
need to have the disc in the game as if you were sitting there, because you're just streaming whatever. And so you can,
And you may say that, like, well, what's the difference if you install it on the hard drive via the disc, or you download it or whatever? The difference is that you can take that disc and bring it to all your friends' houses and install the thing on their system and all that, and then technically it's installed on the hard drive, so it would technically work with PlayStation Portal. Now, to me, why don't you just tie it to your account, right? Dan Robinson's PlayStation account, right, you would need to be logged in as Dan Robinson, right? Which you could say, like, well, like, you're like, hey, I'm not home, Dave. You can just log into my account and use my thing, right? But I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. You're going to want to play it when you want to play it, and if somebody else is on, you're going to go, you got to go, get off the system, right?
Well, I didn't. Well, you're saying this was just a realization for you, but I mean, I knew about this like just from day one.
Well, now you gotta prep ahead of time, and you gotta know. All right, this is the game I'm gonna play for the long haul, you know. And even if you're home and you're like, hey, I want to play some Tekken real quick, or I want to play some Uncharted, then you got to remember when you're done with that, you got to put in the game that you want to play on the road to go.
Well, you would have to be. Well, you would have to. Well, this is Unfortunately, this is again the digital future, you know, sticking its head up in the sand and saying, "I'm here," because this is more so geared towards the online service, right? I mean, the only thing that would probably be really tough to do would be any PS3 game, because PS3 games don't install it locally, so you would have to stream it. So you would be streaming a game. By the way, not great. You could be streaming the game.
I don't even know
to the PS5, and then streaming it to your portal, which it's two barriers of streaming, which probably
do the other PlayStation games download from PlayStation Plus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they download.
Okay.
They download to your hard drive.
Okay.
And they're not big downloads or major installs unless you're doing a major game.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're doing a major game, like the Uncharted games.
Well,
like
I mean, like PlayStation 2,
like that.
maximum size would be 9 gigs per game.
Well, if you're doing
using all the available space on the DVD.
If you're doing old games, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, if you're doing PS4 games, if you got the PS4 Essentials where you can play PS4 games, then the heavy hitters are going to be.
Well, 9 gigs is still 9 gigs. 9 gigs is a lot, you know, and like you know, all those big AAA PS2 games. But I guess that's another thing. But there's also the other wrinkle that if somebody's on your system, logged in and playing something, you then can't do remote play as well. So in a multi-family household, that kind of like, but that I kind of get, because it's additional horsepower to be able to like stream something out of the system and play a game on top of that. Like logistically, you know, hardware wise and whatnot, I understand that. Honestly, you know, all digital future or not, it's just corporate being corporate, because to me, I feel like the compromise is to tie it to your account. As long as like you with your PlayStation account is logged in to your PS5, then you're good, because you can't log in anywhere else. And then you hook up the remote play, and then your home system is tied up to that remote system over there. So there's one person with one account playing one game. And that's how Sony wants it, right? They want you to be using the stuff that you're paying for. And I feel like that would be okay. But and I'll throw Microsoft under the bus too. I don't think they necessarily would do something like that either. I don't even think Nintendo would do something like that. It's just corporate being corporate. And that kind of sucks, because I don't know. I feel like sometimes they put down the hammer. They put down the foot way too hard, and it just becomes oppressive, right? Because like, for all those reasons, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation Portal. I already think it's already at the upper limit of what I would pay for it. I have to be on Wi-Fi to play it. I can only play the one disc that's installed on there unless I go all digital. Not about it.
Well, I'm still going to get it. I'm just mad.
I know you're getting.
I'm really mad. I'm really mad it doesn't have Bluetooth, so they're making me buy Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, you can't be surprised though.
And it's the same stupid fucking price as the Portal itself.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's $400 if you want to have a whole setup.
Well, to be fair, you could just use one of these little wired 3.5 mil headphone jack.
Yes, I could. It does have a headphone jack. It does have a headphone jack, and I can do that. So.
It's the only saving.
All right, let's end last story.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of weird. This came out of left field. Didn't realize this. Atari is back, baby. Atari 2600.
Never went away, Dan. Never went away.
It's sort of like a mini version of the Atari, the original Atari 2600 console.
Mm-hmm.
It's back. You can get it. It's coming out November 17th. Pre-orders. You could pre-order it now on Amazon for $129.99. It has an HDMI out. I thought when I originally saw this, I thought this was like a mini system with all the games in it. It is not. It is actually Atari 2600 that connects to your TV and you can buy. It's coming out with 10 games on a cartridge, but it is backwards compatible with original Atari 2600 and 7800 games.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It legit has the cartridge port. And
well, I will say
you may have cartridges sitting up in your attic.
I do have cartridges.
Oh yeah,
I do. I just want to say this before you get into it. I do have 2 cartridges that I haven't logged in to my games collection because it doesn't have a label and I have no idea what those.
Oh, so you got to put them in and see what they are.
I would have to put them in. I would have to put them in to see what they are, and I just never got around to hooking up the OG Atari. Yeah. So if I buy this, I could just plug them in and see what they are, and then plug them into my collection. So I have whatever number I was at the collection. It is minus 2 games that I haven't added to it. Right, so I can add those to the collection. But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to note that there are some new games that Atari is actually putting out. One of them is Mr. Run and Jump, brand new game from Atari, $30. It's kind of got that classic Atari box art where they have the hand-drawn thing on there and then the Atari logo, Atari 2600 or whatever. So that's kind of cool. But the question I was going to ask, right, is now HDMI out is nice. The ability to use your original cartridges is nice, but there's a ton of these consoles. We had the VCS that came out a few years ago. At Games has been doing these since the dawn of time. There's the ones from Retron. Retron does the Retron 77 or whatever. That's like an emulation system or whatever. There's a ton of different consoles out there. You can play Atari games fairly easy. The Atari 50th anniversary just came out, which I think is more than enough for most people. It's got the history of Atari on there. Is this exciting in any way to you? The system?
It was more exciting when I thought they had actual games in it.
The digital storage,
right?
Yeah.
Where it was like an Atari Mini of some sort. When I thought it was an Atari Mini that could play original Atari games. Mm-hmm. I was more excited about that. But now that it's just an actual console that I could put on my TV, I'm a little bit less excited. But I'm probably still going to pick it up.
Of course. I knew you were. I'm
probably going to still pick it up.
It does look kind of cool. It does have the wood grain. It does look like the classic Sixer, the Atari console everybody knew and loved and had. So the theming is cool. I don't think it's being done by At Games, knock on wood. So it should be pretty good quality. It looks like it's pretty decent quality. So, I would definitely pick this up over the PlayStation Portal. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's cheaper.
It's a much more reliable way to play your Atari games, right? Because you get that old school Atari system. You got to hook it up with coax, and you got to make sure you have all the right cables. This is just HDMI out, which is nice. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. But all right, Dave. You got any cool plans coming up?
Cool plans. Well, it's majorly hot outside, so me sitting next to my fan drinking some iced tea is probably all I'm going to be doing. Oh my God, these last couple of days have just drained me. Ugh.
Nice.
Yeah, so nothing really big on the horizon. How about you?
I'm hopefully going to be playing Starfield. That's pretty much it. I'm excited to jump in and see what the hype's about. I mean, we're going to talk about next episode. We'll talk about my thoughts on it. We'll talk about the Metacritic scores and Open Critic scores. Because I definitely, that's a deep dive right there. Because the scores are all over the place.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I'm excited, and to give you a little sample, I'm excited to use fuel and jump into outer space, and then phase through the planet I want to go on.
Oh, we'll get into that all next week. Yeah. I heard about that.
So
very upsetting.
So that's it. Just Starfield.
Okay. Yeah. Good deal. Well, all right. That is episode 376 in the books, folks. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.